Hello, and welcome to FuturesNW Student Speaker Series, where we share stories by students, for students, from students. We believe that students are the experts at navigating tricky post-secondary systems, and their stories have the power to dismantle secret handshakes that are barriers for first-gen students succeeding in higher education. In this series, you will learn about critical resources and hear inspiring stories of students who have persisted and found belonging, community, and ultimately deep pride for what they have accomplished. Today's guest is Sanai Anang, a recent graduate from Western Washington University and Executive Director of the Bootstraps Fund, sharing his experience with us. Welcome, Sanai, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much. It's nice to be here.
Yay. So, can you start us off by telling us a little bit about yourself, where you grew up, and how you came to Western?
Sure, I would love to. So, to talk a little bit about myself, I come from a musical family. My parents own their own little nonprofit called Ochiami, which brings West African dance and culture to folks all around the world. My dad actually came here for the first time in the 70s with the National Dance Company of Ghana. And so I got a chance to grow up with both my Black heritage, with my mom coming from California, and my African heritage with my dad coming over from Ghana. And so I grew up here in Seattle, which is just a little far away from Bellingham. Not too far where my parents can't come up in a pinch, but just far enough away that they're not here every weekend. I mean, I love them, but still. So how did I come to be at Western? Well, I went to Garfield High School here in Seattle, and I worked really hard, and I was lucky enough to get admitted and spent 5 years going for a degree in educational reconstruction.
That's amazing. So, did you always know you wanted to go to college? And if so, who inspired you?
Honestly, I didn't, but when I got into the regular school system, I saw just how unpractical things really were. Like, when have you ever been sitting in your kitchen, you remember the Pythagorean theorem, and now you can fix your fridge? Well, it doesn't usually happen that way. And so a lot of the time when I was in school, I was just, I was involved, but it wasn't really stimulating me on the intellectual level. But my mom, honestly, she was the one who inspired me to want to go to college because she said, if you can just make it all the way up there, you can start to focus on the things that you're actually passionate about. You can start to focus on the things that get you going and make you want to get up in the morning. And so because of her, it really got me to just buckle down, work as hard as I can, and I did end up going to Western. And I feel so lucky to have had her do that for me.
That's so wonderful. What is one thing you found invaluable in accomplishing your educational goals?
I'd say the biggest thing that helped me to accomplish my educational goals was having a strong community around me. I really ascribe to the old African proverb in terms of it takes a village to raise a child, just because of the fact that there are just so many things that people can offer you. Having a musical family and getting to see them travel around and play music and be involved in that helped me to really see that it doesn't take some special sauce to allow you to be able to get up on the stage and bring happiness to folks. Anybody can do that. And because of that, it helped me to grow and expand. My middle school English teacher was the one who taught me a love for books and knowledge. And because of him, I was able to become a reader and educate myself, which led to my degree in educational reconstruction. So I would just say that really the most important thing is to surround yourself with people who call forth your best.
Yeah. Wow, that is so good. What is one barrier you encountered and how did you navigate that?
So I don't know if you've noticed, but I kind of unhidably Black here in the face. So, because of that, when I walk into a space, unfortunately, sometimes I'm seen for my race as opposed to the merit of my character. And so, when I was at Western, I dealt with a department chair and I walked into their office and I was speaking to them about my educational pursuits. And he looked at me from behind his desk and said, "You sound sketchy coming in here from off the street talking about quantum physics and education," which is what I came in originally to Western with. And I had an opportunity there to allow that to destroy my hopes and dreams, or to take it as an opportunity to say, okay, I'm a freshman. I'm somebody who you see as not an equal. So let me return to you after years of hard study. Let me go and find a way to make my credentials match the ideas in which I've presented for you today. And because of that experience, because of that push, because of that blatant racism, it offered me an opportunity to strive for better. And so I thank them, because your enemies are your best teachers. They show you where you have to grow and they give you opportunities to become your best self. And I'll give you a quote from Epictetus, a Greek Stoic philosopher. He said that circumstances don't make the man, they only reveal him to himself. And I thank that person for offering me the opportunity to reveal that these words would not shake the merit of my character. These words would actually call forth my best, and these words would drive me to get my college degree and to be standing in front of you right now as the executive director of my own nonprofit.
No words. I am so inspired, and I think that just like pushes people around you to like pursue their best too. I feel like this.
I hope it does, because honestly, I'm not special. I just worked really hard and was lucky enough to have great people around me. And for Western, there is people of all different backgrounds. There are people who have all types of different ways in which they see the world and they connect. And yes, I dealt with blatant racism there. It is a predominantly white institution. But the thing is, though, is that over at Fairhaven College, where I got my degree, I never felt like my race was the first thing that people were seeing. And that's kind of why I settled in over there, because it really was about merit and character, smaller class sizes, deeper connections with faculty. It was such an amazing experience. And there are other places around campus that I also connected with good folks. The Student Outreach Service Office is amazing with so many great folks over there, like Patrick Freeland and Cameron Were. They were such amazing folks. And Adam Hazlip while he was there. So don't let those things deter you. Just like with anything in life, there are people who want to see you in ruin, and there are other people who want to see you lifted up and to become your best and your greatest.
Yes, yes. So next question is, what would be your best advice for incoming first-gen students?
My advice for you would be to join a club. There are so many ethnic clubs in the ESC that cover so many different backgrounds. And I know that it is hard when you're coming to a predominantly white institution. For a lot of first generation students who aren't, American born, you could feel like you have lost yourself. You've lost your culture. You don't have people who understand you. There are all types of microaggressions that white students will be throwing on you on a daily basis. And so having a community in which you can be surrounded by is super helpful.
Yeah.
And for lower income white students who may just be coming in for the first time from rural or lower income areas, I would definitely suggest going to the Student Outreach Service Center, because of the fact that they have people who are very equipped to give you the tools in which to understand the shift that you're making, to start understanding the terminology and language, and also helping you to pick the classes that will put you in relationship to the faculty who can really help you to understand what it means to be at college and also what success looks like.
Yeah, for sure. So good. And finally, like, is there anything else you would like to share with us today?
Well, for me, after going to Western and getting my degree in educational reconstruction, what does that mean? Well, our education system, as I kind of alluded to with the Pythagorean theorem piece, is unpractical. And there are a lot of issues that we have in our society. And we all have a hand in being able to uplift folks and be able to give them an opportunity to step into more power in their life. Part of the reason why I appreciate Futures Northwest so much for highlighting folks who normally would be marginalized, I really appreciate it. And so what I'm working on right now, and the organization that I'm a part of, is the Bootstraps Fund. And we've been told in this country that we should be able to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps. You can go from rags to riches. The problem is, according to our sitting president, bootstraps cost a loan of $1 million. I don't know about you, but I don't have an uncle that I can call up and be like, hey, could I borrow $1 million? If I called my mom and said that, she'd be like, what are you talking about? You mean a large loan of $10,000? Like, who are you calling right now? Did you forget where we came from? And so for the 99%, we don't have these opportunities. And so what I want to do with my time is to go out and collect funding and go back to Western, where I got my education, and offer students the ability to have that little bit of starting capital so they can build their prototype or their market viable service. So they don't have to run over to venture capitalists, who Michael Barker from PitchBook Seattle says the average age of an entrepreneur that the venture capital folks will give attention to is 50 years old. Just think about it. You get out of college at 22, 23, 24, you enter the workforce, and you take all these years to go up to your director's chair, and you exit at 50. And so if they're looking at you with amazing ideas, or they're looking at somebody who is 50 years old, who's at the end of their career, who do you think they're going to fund with their millions? Of course, they're going to look to those 50-year-olds. And that's not fair. And that keeps us stagnant in terms of the fact that we are waiting 25 years before we're allowing ideas to manifest and to be implemented. We can't be sitting 25 years in the past when there are ideas that could change our reality right now. I want you to just look at the 2019 novel coronavirus as an example of that. The youth that are graduating right now are not covered under the federal stimulus. They're coming out into an economy that just laid off their parents or guardians, and they need opportunities. They can't apply for unemployment. They haven't been working full time. Many of them have been relying on financial aid for all of their resources and their support. I know. I came from nothing. I'm right there. It's terrifying. And so who are they supposed to look to? Well, I would like to be able to show resilience is still made in America, and the right to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness are not words of a bygone era. Words that come from our Declaration of Independence, which was written with the hope that our nation can not just subscribe to these values, but continually uplift and maintain them.
Thank you so much, Sanai. We appreciate your wisdom, shared experiences, and advice as we work toward making better systems. Thank you so much for your time, for being here. And for more resources, information, and stories of first-gen students, check out our website at FuturesNW.org. If you have any questions for Sanai or myself, please leave them in the comment section below. And don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel.